You get me on the right side and on the left side. So I'm delighted to be here with you. I'm, as you know, a part of the organization of this conference and also one of the sponsors with Cometh. And I'm here to chat about an open NFT rental system, like how to do it right, how to do it wrong, how we did it, and how we think people could do it as well. So short about me, I'm Jerome. I teach economics at CNAM. I'm the founder of Comet. I'm the president of Jerome France. And you can find me on social media in most, if not all, the chat things on this handle. So don't believe the hype. If this is not JDETYCHEY, it's not me. At Cometh, we have a booth here, but we also have a boat. And currently, there are many side events happening on the boat, including one that started 1 hour ago, where you can play chess against the Grandmaster and do cool things with different partners. Come and say hi. If you want to see the scheduling of the boat, this is www.cometh.io/ship. And we airdrop some NFTs, cool, like the croissant, the pastillas de nata, the pretzel, and we have one for this special event. So check it out. Come and see us at the boat. During this conference, we did some collaborations with many brands and cool stuff. If you like watches with pieces of the moon inside, check it out. We have made this collaboration in titanium with a cool brand. Yeah, come and ask us about it. It's a nice stuff. So at Cometh, we do run games on-chain. We try to do R&D on using blockchain inside games and games inside blockchain, but mostly blockchain inside games. And this was the first game that we produced last year. I did a talk last year with a demo about this game. You control a spaceship that you see the red dot here in the middle, and there are comets passing by, so you need to position yourself in order to mine the comet. And there are tokens on those comets that come from fees we extract from different DeFi protocols. We try to do something that's sustainable, and we created various tools about how to use blockchain inside games around that. We have a new game that's coming up now. It's in public beta. We just went a step further in the achievement of the game. Lots of sessions already played, lots of good partners, lots of things happening. You can play the game on your mobile or on your computer. If you'd like to have a demo, just come at the booth. We do that because we believe that there's lots of things to do around blockchain and gaming, and we are slowly building a Comet game engine for Web2 devs to actually use blockchain inside games. So we love to chat about people with big projects about using blockchain inside games and try to help them out on the game design, on what they can do, what they cannot do. Recently, we released a DeFi-based NFT crafting, so you can deposit things on DeFi protocols and get an NFT for your deposit, and eventually grind this NFT and get back the tokens plus the yield plus whatever. And I'm here today to talk to you about rentals, because that's a very big piece of tooling for games. We think that games and blockchain are kind of a match made in heaven. There's lots of things happening, lots of VC funding going to this specific industry. It feels quite right to have NFT and ERC20 representing game assets. It brings new business models, like being able to get fees on the rentals as a way to finance a game. It means that games will have to run on permissionless infrastructure, so good connection with NFT metadata, for example, or access to RPC endpoints, and we have various talks at this conference about that. There is also maybe the cherry on the cake, having new game genres that will emerge because we have the access to blockchain as a medium for expression. And the match made in heaven is inside the economy of a game. Assets that are represented in the game, resource or items with a game utility. Super cool. Trading services for your assets. You need that if you have an economy in your game. You need to have production and recycling function to create those assets or to get those assets. You need to have game design rules on how to access those assets. Will you be able to get the special sword at level 1, or will you have to wait for level 99, or this kind of thing? And as you open up your economy and as you get usually in the Web2 space, as you get more and more modders, as you get more and more players, they start to build tools about asset management, like splitting the uses of an asset, splitting the fructus, the benefit that you get from an asset, from this asset, and eventually also splitting the abuses, who can destroy or not the asset. So this kind of composability is usually used a lot when you do interact with guilds, when you do interact with cooperatives of players, and eventually rentals. Here's why we want to talk about rentals. And blockchain is quite compatible with that, because for the first elements, you get ERC20s, NFTs, the new kids on the block, the soul-bound tokens, for example. For trading, you have automated market makers and marketplaces, and they are available very widely in the space already. For game design rules, you should talk to a game designer. As Jonathan from Lighthouse puts it, they are the ones who create funds. So if your game is not fun without blockchain is probably not going to be fun with it. And asset management can be done through externally owned accounts, through registries, with distribution tables, with complex rules and so on. And we lack a lot of standardization in this space right now because everybody wants to build rental, everybody wants to use rental, but using it at scale or proving attraction on those kind of models is kind of difficult. So we asked ourselves how to rentals. We started off by using registry-based rentals. This is what was in our first game. We look at different EIP's attempts about doing standardization of this kind of lease. We look at other types of EIPs around this kind of lease. We discuss with the people from Pwn. We are going to speak tomorrow at 4, I think in this room. They do it with smart wallets. And we settled on doing something with carbon copies. So the first rental thing that we did was the first protocol based on a registry. So you had a registry handling everything. It was launched in March 2021. We had about 10,000 players in the first game and 6,000 of them went in with rentals. So it's a great acquisition tool for your games. Like having rentals is actually bringing you some activity. And it's also bringing utility to your token. So as an offer, you will list a list of Comet spaceship. You will give a price, give a duration, give it a percentage of mining rewards because the players are actually super skilled in getting into the Comet and getting something out of it. And as the owner of the NFT, you can get a piece of it. So technically, the problem was that you are sending your NFT to a smart contract, and the smart contract has a few rules and logic. Quite a lot of limitation because we really wanted to have an MVP and see what sticks on the wall. Well, lots of limitation. ERC 1155 were not supported. The distribution table was only 2 addresses. For creating an offer, you had to spend some gas fees. When the offer is created, the NFT will leave your wallet, so you will be like, oh my God, I lost my NFTs. No, actually put them on rental. Oh, nobody has rented it, so I need to cancel the thing. So it creates some complication. And as a borrower, you were just listed as the borrower through the registry smart contract. So you didn't really have any NFT in your wallet to prove that you were the renter or to do something else with your rentals. So we spent some time doing some design goals and personas for this kind of target, like who are actually going to use the rentals? Well, the app first, of course, because it brings more revenue, because it brings more utility to your NFT, and it brings also easier access to your app because you don't really need to have the NFT to actually play the game. For the lender, there is automatic reward distribution, that's cool. There is delegation of the management. There is liquid position eventually because you've rented a house. Maybe you want to sell the house with the tenant. It could be interesting. For the borrower, we want to make sure that there is no capital requirement because it creates friction on being able to rent or not rent. Being able to rent on demand, look at what's happening and do something. Eventually also subletting. I rented, but I want to sublet because I have other works to do right now. And the end goal were also the guilds that manage lots of NFTs or the big collectors that manage lots of NFTs. We want to make sure that they have a dedicated asset manager for that they do their accounting properly. So we came up with this first attempt at doing this kind of rental system where you have the 3 personas, the borrower, the lender, and eventually also the sub-lender, the sub-borrower in this. And the objective was to mostly bring flexibility between the owner, the tenant, and the subtenant. So going into the details, most games that distribute things, like distribute a resource, distribute a rewards, distribute tokens that can be valuable or not, use a game rewarder, something that transfer ERC20s to someone because he or she did something cool. The game rewarder is mostly game specific, but it's very common in every game that you have this kind of game rewarder. And we want to make sure that the borrowed NFT inherits all the properties of the metadata of the previous NFTs, the real NFT behind it. So the only thing that the game has to integrate in order to use this kind of rental is to consider the borrowed NFT contract as a legitimate NFT contract. So typically in your borrowed NFT contract, we create this on-receive ERC20 function that will look at how to distribute the rewards and apply the proper distribution after it. Opening a rental systems look like this. You create an offer. You select a number of NFT that you want to put in this offer. The offer can be private or public. The only limitation is that if you do a public offering, we need to add a fee on this. Because if you create a public offering with no fee to enter the offering, there is some sort of a griever attack. It's similar to the nothing at stake problem in a certain proof of stake system. People can just take all the rentals just to get them out of the market if all the rentals are free. So in here we have the MUS token, our local token, but you can use it with any token. It's just a matter of just saying, like, hey, if you want to get a public offer, you need to put a minimum entry fee. If you do a private offer, you can do whatever you want, with or without fee. It's private, and only the person that have been listed in the authorized parties can actually rent it. So should the game distribute anything? There is a split that is applied. In here it's 50-50, but feel free to say 91-19 or 1-99 or 0-100, whatever you want. And what's cool is that the NFT doesn't leave your wallet. We just sign something to say, well, this is an offer that anybody can take. So as a owner of an NFT, I can offer any rental offer and just wait for someone to take it. The NFT doesn't have to leave my wallet between that time and when it's listed. Once someone takes this rental system, the protocols lock the NFT. The NFT moves to a custody contract and mint 2 new NFTs. In here you see the arbitrator, an NFT that we did in collaboration with Kleros. So 2 new NFTs are emitted. One is given to the legitimate owner of the NFT and can be reclaimed against the real NFT at some point. And there is a borrowed NFT that is emitted for the person that is actually borrowing, right? Those NFT can be freely traded, so you get the liquidity of this position. Maybe I got a super interesting rental that's super long, and I found someone that wants to use it instead of me. I can sell it my position. And at the end of the rental system, both of those NFTs are burned, and the person having the original NFT gets it at the end. So we suggest, if you want to use this kind of system, to apply a little watermark, like lent and borrowed, for example, in order not to confuse people on the marketplaces like Luxware or Rarible, just to see that it's actually a lent NFT and a borrowed NFT, of course. We have written something for that, so you can easily add an SVG file to do the watermark of your NFT if you want to use it. In here you see this lent console that was created, I think, yesterday or the day before. So we released it yesterday afternoon. So it's pretty new and already kicking. On the open rental system, you also can create sub-rentals for you to be able to assign your rental to someone else. That's typically a very important guild use case or a very important big collectors use case. I've rented to someone and I tell them, well, you now are the manager of my NFTs. If you find good usage for it in different games, you can sub-lent it to different players, or you can create a sub-letting offer, of course. A question that we got during the design phase was, can we sub-lend? Is it possible to sub-lend to someone that have sub-lended? Well, technically yes, but from our different interviews with guilds and big collectors, this is not really a use case at all. So you want to tweak it and do it, feel free to do so. So in here you see the distribution table between 10%, 72%, and 10% for the subtenant. That's a possibility. Feel free to do whatever floats your boat. At the moment where you create this sub-lenting assignment and someone takes it, we emit 2 new NFTs just to show that now this liquid position has moved to something else. So there are different roles and responsibility in terms of what you cannot do, what you can do. People can end the rentals once the time is expired. You can also both request to end it prematurely and agree to end it prematurely. And only the person that has the borrowed NFT can actually sublet. Nobody can end the sublet until it's actually ended in terms of duration. In terms of subletting, the extension of the roles is a little bit bigger, but you get the point. So coming up to the conclusion, is it live? Yes, you can try it on combev.io/rental. Is it audited? Is it open source? Yes, it's open source, so you can check the verified contract on Etherscan. Is it audited? Yes, we did a lot of contributor review, peer review, and so on. We have several contributors in Comef. You can check the about section of the company to see who's behind it in terms of security. We had a first audit with Ashcloak. Thank you to them. Didn't find anything too bad. We will soon publish this review, but we felt comfortable enough to put it live. Can you use it in your game? Yes, you can. It lacks documentation since it's just live now, but we are very happy to help you integrate it and use it and give us some feedback. Please get in touch. And if you'd like to chat about a rental, let's talk. Our booth is just down the stairs here. And thank you so much for your attention.
Got time for some questions if anyone in the audience would like to ask something.
Okay, so we have time for questions. Great.
Any questions?
Everybody's dying to go at the booth.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one question from the Greg Marcoux. Where are the signatures stored?
Now, if you sublease it, like recursively sublease it down, and the original rental period ends, and the owner calls it, does it come back through the subleases?
Yeah. You cannot sublet for a longer duration than the original duration. Cool thing to verify on a smart contract. And when you call the end, it just ends everything. Yeah. And it's also a problem, like if you do sub-rental of sub-rental or sub-rental or sub-rental or sub-rental, you could actually potentially lock the NFT forever because the block size is not big enough for all the thing to unravel. But at 3 sub-rentals, it's fine. Yeah. All right, so as a remembrance, like come and see us at the booth. There is chess game this afternoon. Tomorrow there's lots of new things to try. I think we have Women in Blockchain thing in between 12 and 2 by 1inch and StableNode and other partners. If you'd like to check the whole agenda, it's on comf.io/ship. And we hope to talk to you and see you at our booth.